Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how I start my magic circles and how I work in a double crochet round. Now normally most patterns will call for a chain 2 or a chain 3 to begin a round that is completed in double crochet. Personally, I don't like how the chain gives a really skinny seam and almost very noticeable seam to even someone that doesn't even crochet, and they'll be able to find the seam. So I came up with a modified double crochet stitch that I like to use to kind of bulk up that beginning stitch so it almost looks identical to a regular double crochet. Now here's a sample piece I did earlier. It's just 2 rounds of double crochet, and if I pull this apart a little bit, you can see my first and last stitch to both rounds. Now here is my first stitch to my first round, and here's my first stitch to my second round. Now if I close this back up like it's supposed to be, you can see my very first stitch to my last round and my last stitch to my last round are fairly similar as far as looks go. So personally, I like this better because now my stitches all look unified and you can't tell where my seam is to my work. So I'm going to show you how I get that look. Now to start off a magic circle, I leave a little bit extra over my hands, and I take the working end and I wrap it around my first 3 fingers to create a fairly good sized loop. I take my hook, I go in underneath the circle, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab my working end and pull it through the circle and twist. Now I take my fingers out because I find it easier to work with. You just kind of have to see what works best for you. And I go ahead and I take my very last 2 fingers to hold my working end, and I slip my middle finger into the loop to kind of hold it. So I'm going to take my thumb down and hold where I twisted. And this is where it gets a little complicated working a magic circle. So if you need to pause the video, feel free to do so until you get a good grasp on this. So go ahead and yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. So now you created a chain. So now your loop is secure. So I then go ahead and put my yarn over my finger like I normally would when I'm working. And I like to put a couple fingers in the loop to just kind of hold it still. So to make your very first stitch, which is going to be a modified double crochet, you're going to raise up the loop a little bit, and to secure this loop, go ahead and take your index finger and place it on top, and you're going to take your hook, bring it towards the front of the loop, and wrap it around, bring it down and up again. So now you wrapped that extended loop over your hook. Next, you're going to go inside your magic circle, and you're going to yarn over and pull up a 3rd loop. So now it almost looks like a regular double crochet. So you're going to treat it just like a regular double crochet now. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops. So as you can see, it's a little bulkier on the bottom than a normal double crochet, but I'll take that over the really skinny chain 3. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to complete my round. So I'm going to work 11 more double crochet into my magic circle. Okay, my last double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and pull on that little extra piece of yarn that I have until my magic circle closes all the way up. So your very first modified double crochet is going to have 2 top loops just like any regular double crochet. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but it's going to be a little further apart than the rest of your stitches, but they are there, I promise. So go through underneath your front top loop and your back top loop. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through to create a slip stitch to join. Now to make your next modified double crochet, it's going to be just like the very first one that you did. You're going to hold on to the stitch of where you just slip stitched and pull up your loop to about the same size that your double crochets normally are as far as height goes. Go ahead and hold on to the loop with your index finger and wrap the extended loop around your hook. Now take your hook and insert it into the same stitch that you just slip stitched to join. Yarn over and pull up the loop. So again, we have 3 loops on our hook, and you're going to treat it just like you would any normal double crochet now. So yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So you just completed your second modified double crochet. So just like any round and work in a circle, it needs to be an increase round until you decide that you either increased enough and you need to just work around to complete your hat, or if you're just constantly increasing to make a perfect circle. Either way, your second round needs to have 2 stitches in each stitch around. So I'm going to go ahead and make the second stitch in the same space. So as you can tell, my modified double crochet is a little bulkier on the bottom, but not too much bigger than my regular double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to complete the round by working 2 double crochets in each stitch around. Halfway there. Okay, so that was my last stitch to my second round, so I should have 24 double crochet now. And just like join in the first round, you're going to find the top 2 loops to your modified double crochet. So you can see here's my front top loop and my back top loop. So I'm going to go under, both of them. Yarn over and pull through to slip stitch to join. So as you can see, you're going to be able to tell where your very first stitch was, but now you're not going to have that really skinny chain 3 seam that you see in other pieces. So I hope this helps you in creating seamless items.